Pretty girls follow Jesus. Oh, pretty girls follow Jesus. Oh, pretty girls follow Jesus. Oh, pretty girls.
What's up, y'all? Excuse me. I have been sick for a little bit. I lost like smell and taste for a while, but your girl's back. I don't have COVID, which is a good thing. But I just wanted to kind of review over gold. And just kind of show y'all like how I would take a look at gold and look at things and mark up my charts kind of deal. So just heads up, this is going to be a long video. So if you don't like long videos, I'm sorry, but this is going to be a long one. But I always usually I start in the daily, and sometimes I pick up my pivots. And here I'm just marking the nearest swing high and swing low. So I'm gonna mark here and I'm gonna mark here. And what this is telling me in my head is that from the level 43.81, we have sellers sitting here and pushing price down. And then right here, when price came up, sellers pushed it back down. Right here at this level is telling me we had a new set of buyers step up and say, no, sellers, we are not allowing you to push any further than the level 38.86. So in my daily, that is what I have marked up. Now, another thing that I'm seeing in the daily is an indication was made, right? If you know, you know. Gold finally broke past and made a new high. So an indication was made. So when we see this indication, or if you are someone who does supply and demand, if you see an indication or you see a break of structure, that is what we're looking for. All right, so this is the indication, and this is just in the daily, but this is really huge. So this is an indication or break of structure, BOS, right? So this is just letting us know that the level 43.81, where sellers were once in control, they are no longer holding this level like they used to. Price was able to push through this level, so buyers had so much momentum from the level 38.86 and so forth, and was able to push up all the way until they were able to break through to break through a level that sellers had control on. And after that, we know it's either going to continue or at some point a new set of sellers are going to set in. Okay, boom, right here. Let me get another tool, this one. This is where the new set of sellers stepped in. They're saying, nope, we let you come all the way up to approximately the level 45.51, and we're not allowing y'all to go any further than this. Okay? So from just this daily, this is all that I am just like peeping out. This is what I will look at. And this is just the daily. Again, let's just go over that. We have sellers sitting here, and they push price down, and we had a new set of buyers sitting here where they were able to push price up and go past the level where sellers used to have control until they were stopped by the new set of sellers where price is now getting pushed back. Okay, so let's go to the 4 hour. All right, so in the 4 hour, I'm going to take these pivots out. But this is all, again, what we see in that 4 hour. We're just going a little bit more in detail, or we're just seeing a little bit more of the fight that was happening. Okay, so again, we have that here, which is a higher high. And then we have the higher low here. And that is this Let me go back just one quick second. This is marked as the higher high and higher low because if we look back, this right here was the previous higher high basically when price broke above here at that level 3,500. So that was the higher high, and then I would say the higher low was the 3,120 and above. So just want to let y'all know about that. But anywho, let's get back to the 4 hour and take these pivots off. Fresh. All right, so again, we have our sellers sitting here. Price came up. Sellers pushed the price down. Buyers pushed the price back up, creating an indication, letting us know that buyers were able to push through a level where sellers had previous control until they were stopped at that level of 45.51. And sellers was able to push price back down. So this is now what we call the correction phase. When will the correction end? We don't know. Okay, but this is definitely in the correction phase overall. Price is correcting. It can correct itself all through here. It can correct all the way down here if it wants to before it goes back up. Okay? When it will stop, we don't know. It can be targeting some levels here. So let's mark some possible levels. We have basically some buyers sitting about here. Let me turn that green because that bothers me. Am I? Oh, it's okay. We have buyers here, so it can be targeting that level. We have some buyers sitting here. It can be coming all the way down here. We have some buyers sitting about here. It can come all the way down. Buyers, I would say this is still in overall a bullish trend. Overall, it is in a bullish trend right now, though. You can get some bearish. You can get some good sales though right now within this correction phase. But overall, we created a new high. There's nothing telling me that we are bearish just because this is going down. Like, no. In order for me to think price is about to be bearish is if it comes from here, does this, and it comes like down here or something. Like that would be the reason. But anything up in here is fair game. If it closes here and stop, this is still a higher low. It's still higher than this previous low. If price wants to correct all the way to here, fine with me. It is still higher than the previous low. So correction can come all the way down here. Okay? And it still would be within a bullish trend in my eyes. Okay? Now, again, I said we are in this correction phase. So price is now correcting itself. But let's look into where we could have got some sales at in this trade. So let's go kind of down to this 1 hour. All right, so here's that indication, right? So we are seeing a trend still happening within this correction. So boom, price corrected. Here we have a small stop. Here we have a level here. Let me just do letters. Or here. So we have a small, higher high. We have a small, higher low, right? Price came up, created a higher high, created a higher low. We in trend, right? These you could have got some daily trades here. Higher high, higher low, right? Okay. Cool. Everything's good. We have another higher high. All right, higher high. And then we have this here, right? Another higher high. I think it's here. No. Right here. Higher high. Right? So we were in trend. Cool. I'm going to go down even further into this 30 minute, right? So now we getting into detail. Again, we see a trend. Boom, boom, boom. Where is that? Here. I'm trying to see. Sometimes I'll put my pivots up. Okay. See if I'm almost right with some of these higher highs. Here, I'm trying to see where is that low. I think it was this one right here. Cool. We were cool. All right. So we have this higher low here. And this was the higher high, right? We're going to get into this. So this is the higher low. So we have, this was the last time we had some buyers. We got buyers sitting here. Let me put this green, put an arrow up, right? Again, we already know from what we marked earlier. Let me get more detail, but this is the higher low, or the overall high. This is where the new set of sellers stepped in, hence my arrow. A new set of sellers stepped in and pushed price down. And we can see this happening when, oh, it's actually here. Let me do another, because this one technically is a higher low. So I'm going to go even further up. So we have buyers here, but let me go to this up this way, because that is a higher low, but this one even more so, right? Because, and I'm marking this one because after this high was created, like this higher low created this higher high, and the higher high created, it stopped here. That was the higher low it created. And then this higher low created a lower high. We're going to see this when we go down even further, like into the 15 and the 5. But this is a lower high. This lower high created a whole new low. This is a low. Or lower low. Let's just lower low. Okay. So this lower high created a lower low. We are no longer in a uptrend after we acknowledge that a higher low created a higher high. A higher high created a higher low, which is good, which is great. Okay, something funky just happened, so I want to make sure we still get it. But go here. So we were all in trend, right? We were all in trend. I'm gonna just do here. We had this higher low. We had this higher high. We had a higher low. And then, wait, hold on. Pause. Hold on. If we are continuing a uptrend, a higher low creates a higher high, correct? Yeah, no, but it didn't. But just because it created a lower high doesn't necessarily mean that the high trend is over with. That don't mean anything, because it could have definitely stopped here, created a double bottom, and came right back up. But it didn't. It did break past that higher low. Now we are back into, oh, nope. Our brains got to start turning in a different direction. We got to go into the small. I'm going to go to the 5 minute, because that's really what I look at. Let's go back up here, and we're going to see how beautiful this stuff is, y'all. It's so beautiful. Look at this. We are no longer in a uptrend at all, okay? After this higher low created a lower high, our gears have to turn and say, okay, you know what? That trend was good. It was fun, but it's over. Okay, it created a higher low. Let me stop and think. Then the lower high created a whole new lower low, like a whole lower low. okay, cool. This could have just been a drop. This could have just been a drop. This is still a higher low. This could have definitely just been a deep cup and came back. But it did not. So now we got to think, because price can do so many things. That's why I myself have to slow down, right? So we know that the trend is over or maybe over because the lower high was made. Now we got a confirmation that a lower low was made. But I just want to give some things that I be thinking about sometimes. Just because this lower high was created, price could have went from here and then went right back up, and we could have been right back in trend, right? But it did not. Like we said, it came back here. Now, price could have made this deep new low, right? But in my eyes, and maybe I'm thinking in a whole different way, but to me, this is still higher than this previous higher low, right? And so for me, to make sure this trend is definitely done, a lower high has to be created. Then I'll be like, all right, yep, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. We are definitely going. It's about to go back down. But price could have definitely, went here and came back up just as much. But anywho, sometimes I be thinking it too far ahead. But or sometimes I think I be overthinking. I think that's what it is. Sometimes I feel like I be overthinking. But definitely the trend was over with, right? So we do the same thing that we've been doing. We noticed that a break of structure was done because a higher low didn't create a new high, but the lower high made a new low. So we have an indication here. Where's the color? Oops. So this was an indication. Boom. All right. So again, we know that we have sellers here pushing price down. We did have a set of buyers here pushing price up. Price failed to make a higher high. It pushed back down past a level where buyers were in control. So that's where the indication here was made. We had a correction here. And we established that price is not, we have sellers sitting here basically, not allowing price to go any further. Let me get a straighter line. So we have price here after this correction was made. So we had another set of buyers here at this level. So after the indication was made, this is the indication. Indication. That's not how you spell indication. Or a break of structure. Okay. We did have a new set of buyers step in where they pushed price back up. But even from here, they failed to create a new high because we had a new set of sellers step in and maintain price at the level 45.20 and pushing price down. And so where you could have got your entry in on this correction, the overall correction from the daily, you could have got in on that here. Boom. Oh, not that much. I probably would have put a stop loss about here. Okay. And then we would have been targeting, honestly, for me, I would have been just going for here, but evidently, look how far that push was. Okay. So that could have been a trade. Guess what? There's another indication here. because this right here, this black line, is our daily, from our daily high, you know, that it broke. There's that indication. Well, we got another indication here, right? Price is coming past the level. We know anything below this black line is in control by sellers. I hope we're all getting that. That's that level we talked about here in the daily. So I want everybody to be confused. Right here, I'm gonna make this line a little thicker. But these are daily lines, for me at least. But we know anything below here is in control by sellers, right? And actually, we know that, you know, if price gets below here, we know sellers have the ability to push price from here all the way down to here. They have the ability to do that, okay? But we went over some levels where we have some buyers sitting, okay, that they have to go through. But anything above below this level isn't controlled by sellers. So going back here, where's my refresh button? Oh, over here. Okay. So let's say you took that trade. Cool. You got some money. Bands. Great. Don't get mad if you didn't get in on that trade, because this is just an indication. So sellers broke past a level, okay, where we know that anything above this level now is in control by buyers. Now, anything above here is in control by buyers, but anything below here is in control by sellers, right? So we now know that sellers are back in their territory, but we have a set of buyers sitting here saying, nope, we ain't gonna let y'all go past here, okay? We stopping y'all here. And they push price back up. So it corrected itself. And the buyers pushed the price back up to where they're in control above this level again. They're in control above here. But guess what? Seller said, yeah, we not allowing y'all to come anywhere past here. Like, y'all tried it. Y'all not coming anywhere here. We have control a little bit here. We have a new set of sellers sitting here saying no after this correction. So now we're waiting and we're waiting. And so what we want to see, where's our setup coming in at? All right, so now that price corrected itself. You could have got into a trade anywhere below this level. Literally, anywhere below this level is where we would have been looking for trades again. So price came back down. Could have got in. I don't know if I would have been up at 7 in the morning. So what time is this? Around 8:30. Okay. Market just freshly opened. All right, cool. I've been up watching the chart. I know this is a good trade. As far as your stop loss, probably a little bit above that. Okay. And then the targeting, we would be targeting here because this is where we know sellers were at. So let's go here. So price did get to there, but guess what? It made a whole new low. This is a new low, right? So let's say you rolled that trade out, bet you were able to make some more money. Cool. Guess what it's doing? It's correcting itself, right? Looks like what it's doing. So let's see. So after it made a new low, we have some buyers here saying nope. We allowed y'all to come here, but Boom. And I know I said like sellers are in control, which they are, but this is really like a battle zone. Because I want to say it's a battle zone because I don't know why I just did that like that. Anything can happen within here. It can be in between sellers, it can be buyers. It can go any which way within here. Okay? It can go any way. This is the battle zone. Okay? We only know that for right now that buyers are controlled from here and there. Um Same thing, if price was to break below this, then we know that sellers have control from this level and below to a point. But this area is like a quote unquote no trade zone or a be careful zone. um, that's why with Sahil out, he tells us, wait till price comes back to that level to where we know the indication was made before entering. But again, you can see that there are setups within this trading zone. You just gotta be smart and watch it a little bit. So it looks like a new low was made. It's correcting itself. We have a new set of sellers here. So all we're doing is making. Did I even draw anything? No. So we have sellers here. Turn that red. Sitting there. We had sellers sitting. That thing just messed me up. Okay. Seller sitting here. So look like we're making lower highs and lower lows, right? Because this would be a lower high. This would be a lower low. Lower high. We just made a new lower low. We got a lower high here. Okay. And so, yeah. Now, where will price possibly go? Let's see. We'll see. Because we have some buyers sitting here. I don't know if you can see, if I was to run this line all the way across, like we might have a turnaround. Is the correction over with? Are we seeing that? We don't know. But we have buyers here, right? From that first indication down. Make it a little thicker for right now. And a new low was made below there, right? Price came back above a level where we know buyers are in control, above here. Created a new lower high. Now, if the trend wants to continue, what should it do? If it wants to continue going down, it would come all the way down, make a new low, right? As far as within this here, as far as where would I have gotten in on a trade, possibly it'd have been somewhere around here, because we see price isn't wanting to go any further than here. Like from here, price stopped, right? From here. Yeah, it wicked up, but it wasn't going anywhere further than this. So, I don't know where I would have actually entered. Sometimes I gotta draw supply boxes to kind of see. Since this just wicked, I would, my supply box would be about like here to where that is. But stopping at where that last candle, where it ended, yeah, I probably would have entered here because price was not going. It came down, it went back up, didn't beat it. Went down, came back up, still didn't close with a wick. So yeah, possibly about right here. I could say all that right now, but this would have been a good entry for me. Boom, boom, a little bit above, and then the target goal for that one would have been going for that new low. Now, if it does not want to go down here, that's fine. Then we might be turning around. We don't know. But hopefully, this is 30 minutes. It's not too bad. Hopefully, y'all, with this kind of breakdown of how, like, this is just what I see, and how I think of using, like, ICC just from, like, the overall daily, what I look for in the 4, the hour, going down to the 5-minute. Those are some type of things to look for. Some things as far as, like, just corrections after indication. When do we know when the indication is over with? When we know those are, we knew it was over with when the trend told us, when price told us, right? So that's kind of what I'm learning. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, lower high. Trend must be possibly about to turn. Lower high, lower low, lower high. Okay, yeah, price is turning around. Boom. So that's kind of what I'll be looking for here is, okay, we made a lower low, lower, oh my gosh, Tan, can I speak a little bit? So this lower high made a lower low, lower high, a little lower here. This is a little higher though, basically, but that's probably why we don't count this one. I'm not going to count this one, but it is one, okay? This is a lower high, but let me just put it back. Okay. Lower low, lower high. Now, this lower high needs to make a lower low to continue this downtrend. But if it's making a, if this is going to be a higher low, then our mind shift have to start changing to say, like, okay, this can possibly be the end of this correction, and we'll start looking to see where we can start entering for buys, back to the overall higher high. Okay, or of course you will wait till price gets back above here to enter in for those higher highs. But yeah, again, hopefully this made sense. Leave any questions that you have below. Hopefully I can answer them. And yeah, happy New Year's, everyone. Happy trading. Bye.